At the supermarket, Iris locks eyes with a man called Josh. He gets so nervous trying to flirt with her that he accidentally drops all the oranges from the shelf. They both laugh and immediately hit it off. Sometime later the new couple is going on a trip. Iris notices the road isn't showing on the GPS and Josh thinks it may be a driveway. When they make it to the lake house, Iris thanks the car and makes Josh do the same. Iris is nervous because she thinks Josh's friends will hate her and thinks Kat already does, but Josh assures her it's not like that. When Kat greets them at the door, she's delighted to see Josh but cold toward Iris. After meeting the rest of the group, Iris unpacks and doesn't notice a mysterious little object in her suitcase. Later during dinner, Patrick shares how he met his boyfriend Eli and Iris understands how they feel about love at first sight, saying very intense things about her life with Josh. Kat's boyfriend Sergey refuses to talk about his work, claiming it's a very dirty business. It's obvious he has lots of money since he owns this house. After dinner Kat tells Iris that Sergey is married to another woman and that he considers Kat just an accessory, like his car. Iris freaks out because she can't imagine having a relationship without love. Kat admits she doesn't like the idea of Iris because she makes her feel replaceable. However, Iris thinks Kat can't be replaced and confesses she would love to be fearless like her. Iris feels she wasn't built that way and there's always something inside her holding her back. Afterward, while the group is dancing, Iris notices Kat whispering something into Josh's ear. Feeling bothered, she pulls Josh away from Kat to dance with him. The night ends with them getting dirty and when they're done, Iris tries to talk about her feelings but Josh just tells her to go to sleep. In the morning Iris wants to go to the lake, but Josh has a hangover and decides to stay to rest. After she leaves, Josh gets the mysterious item and connects it to his phone, revealing it's a USB stick. At the lake, Iris is surprised to find a knife in her pocket. At that moment Sergey arrives and tries chatting with her, but his presence makes her uncomfortable so she tries to leave. Sergey begs her to stay and enjoy herself, so Iris sits next to him. Then Sergey asks her to apply sunscreen to his back. While Iris is doing so, he holds her hand and says it's okay because this was Kat's idea. In fact, she told him he could find Iris here. He grabs Iris and holds her close, saying this is what she's for. Sergey starts kissing her while ignoring her pleas to stop. Moments later Iris returns to the house covered in blood and the knife in her hand. She explains that Sergey took advantage of her so she had to defend herself. While Kat runs to look for the body, Josh asks for the whole story. Iris hit Sergey with a bottle so in return he furiously slapped her and tried to kill her, leaving her no choice but to use the knife. While Iris says she didn't want to die because she wouldn't see her boyfriend again, Josh tells her to go to sleep. Her eyes go white and her mind is turned off because it turns out she's a robot. Afterward Patrick ties Iris to a chair while Eli gives Kat medicine to help her sleep. The men don't understand how this happened since they thought these robots had safeguards. They agree they'll call the cops and Josh asks his friends to wait outside so he can say goodbye. Then Josh wakes Iris up and she freaks out when she notices she's tied up. She swears she's telling the truth about self-defense and Josh believes her because her programming doesn't let her lie. He explains she's a companion robot and to prove it, he uses his phone to make her speak other languages. Iris is confused because she has memories of having a whole life, however Josh tells her it's all fake. The programmers code some memories to give her a basic life story and personality. Even their first meeting at the supermarket was fake and chosen from a classic list of meet cutes. A flashback shows a group of delivery men dropping Iris in a box at Josh's apartment together with a bunch of women's clothes. After Josh signs the user agreement, he's told he must wait for Iris to sync with his phone so he can create a love link, which will establish an emotional connection between them. Companion robots don't know that they aren't human and live only to take care of their owner's wants and needs. The customization options include choosing voice, eye color, and intelligence. To reset them back to factory settings, they have a thumbprint sensor behind their ear. They also have a billion government regulations that prevent them from being too strong or too smart. This means the programming doesn't let them lie or cause harm. Once Iris finishes syncing with Josh's phone, he sits in front of her and says his name. Iris scans him and the meet cute scenario he chose plays in her head, which creates the love link. She finally wakes up in absolute love with him so Josh immediately takes her to the bedroom to get busy. In the present Iris still refuses to accept this, pointing out that she feels all kinds of emotions, but Josh reminds her it's all programming. Even her tears are just water from the reservoir in her body, which he refills every time he takes her to get serviced. Iris decides to stop arguing and says he wants to work things out with him, but Josh refuses. At that moment Kat enters the room and tells Josh to shut Iris down already. While Josh takes Kat away to discuss things, Iris notices the knife on the ground and starts dragging her chair to reach it. She falls in the process, but it's close enough for her to take it and free herself. In the other room, Josh and Kat talk about the details of their plan. It turns out they plan for Iris to kill Sergei to get rid of him without consequences and get his money. When Josh returns to Iris, she punches his throat and takes his phone. Then she tells Kat to take Josh to the hospital and leaves the house, which is seen by Patrick outside. Moments later, Josh explains to Eli that his USB stick has a modding program that allowed him to jailbreak Iris, giving him access to usually restricted code. He increased her aggression and self-defense functions and disabled the programming that stopped her from causing harm. His plan was to reset her, but now she's escaped. Eli freaks out when he realizes Josh did all this to make Iris kill Sergei, so Josh justifies it by explaining Sergei was involved in the trafficking of guns, substances, and even humans. Then Kat opens Sergei's safe, revealing a huge pile of money and a gun. Eli is excited to see the cash but still asks why Josh and Kat invited him if this whole trip was just an excuse to murder Sergei. Josh explains they needed extra witnesses to corroborate their story. Now they know the truth. Josh is willing to share the money with Eli as well. Eli points out that Patrick should get something too, but Josh says Patrick doesn't count out. A furious Eli puts Patrick to sleep, revealing he's a robot too. He yells at Josh for almost sabotaging his relationship, and a senseless argument ensues. Kat interrupts them and manipulates Eli by pointing out that he'll get millions of dollars just for helping them find a girl in the woods. Eli says he wants the gun, but Josh assures him it won't be necessary. He just needs to get close enough to put Iris to sleep and get his phone to whip the mod from her system. However, Eli grabs the gun anyway when Josh realizes Iris knows his password. In the woods, Iris runs for a while. Eventually she stops to rest and unlocks Josh's phone to access her settings. She changes her eye color, makes her voice deeper, and increases her intelligence to 100%. While the group enters the forest to start the search, Iris considers her options. She can't hitchhike because people will be scared of the blood, and walking would take too long, not to mention Josh would be waiting at home to kill her. Iris realizes the phone also controls Josh's car and the vehicle AI could take her home. She just needs to return to the house without getting caught. On her way back, she hears the guys talking and hides behind a tree. Eli is still freaking out over what Josh did and says he would never alter someone's programming, prompting Patrick to admit he knows he's a robot because he put the clues together through the years. This confuses Eli because robots can't lie, yet yesterday Patrick talked about their first meeting as if it was real. Patrick says the meeting may have never happened, but his memories are real. The chosen scenario had been them meeting at a Halloween party during which Patrick accidentally stepped on the tail of Eli's dinosaur costume. Eli tells Patrick that he loves him and would never treat him like Josh treated Iris. In return, Patrick also talks about his love and they kiss. Suddenly Josh's phone starts vibrating and the men hear it, so Iris quickly runs away while Eli opens fire. Josh and Kat hear the gunshot and run in that direction. The guys chase after Iris and she accidentally bumps into Eli, causing them to trip and roll down the hill. The gun falls and Iris tries to grab it, but Eli grabs her legs to make her fall and gets to the gun first. Iris fights him for it, and in the struggle the gun is fired, killing Eli. The others are watching from the top of the hill and Josh tries to put her to sleep, but Iris is already running so his voice isn't close enough. Josh begins chasing Iris and they reach the lake house. She rushes to get in the car and closes the door on his hand. He pounds on the window while yelling at her to open the door, but she ignores him. Iris asks the car to take her home, however the AI only responds to Josh's voice. While Josh starts hitting the window with a rock, Iris modifies her voice in the settings until it sounds like his. The car finally activates and drives off, crushing Josh's foot on its way out. Minutes later the car AI informs Iris that the vehicle has been reported as stolen, so it stops in the middle of the road and Iris can't open the door. At that moment she gets a call from Josh, who apologizes for everything and wants them to escape together to start over. When she asks about the deaths, he says they can just blame them on Patrick. However, Iris refuses to go back, pointing out she can't forgive someone who forced her to kill before hanging up. A desperate Josh goes back to Eli's body to get his phone and connects the USB stick to modify Patrick's programming because he wants him to track down Iris. Patrick is grieving Eli and won't obey, so Josh touches the button behind his ear to reset him. Then Josh creates the love link, which replaces Eli in the memory of the Halloween party. Back to Iris, she kicks the door until she manages to remove the cracked glass. She climbs out of the window only to notice a police car parking next to her. Deputy Hendricks tries talking to her, but she's changed her settings to German. Since she can only say the truth, this way she won't be understood. Hendricks still manages to get a few words from her and reveals he knows Sergei. He offers to drive Iris back to the lake house, and when she refuses he tries to get closer, only to notice the bloodstained knife in the car. Quickly taking his gun out, Hendricks proceeds to handcuff Iris. Suddenly Patrick shows up and attacks Hendricks, repeatedly punching him with his own gun until he's dead. Iris tries running away, but Patrick grabs the phone and shuts her down. At the house, Josh is bandaging his hand while Kat is dangerously mixing alcohol with too much medicine. The duo gets worried when they see a police car arrive, but it's just Patrick in Hendricks' vehicle. He takes Iris out of the trunk while the others are horrified to find the cop's body in the car too. Kat rushes back inside and starts packing her half of the money while Josh tells her not to feel guilty because Sergey deserved to be killed since he was a mobster. However, Kat reveals that Sergey was actually the owner of a sod farming company, and Josh jumped to conclusions when he heard dirty business just because Sergey was Russian. She still thinks he deserved the worst because of how he treated women. Josh complains that all women in his life only use him and tries to stop Kat from leaving, but she just walks around him. When Kat is about to reach the door, Josh orders Patrick to stop her, only for the robot to stab Kat. She moves to sit next to Iris and dies on the couch. Moments later Patrick cooks for Josh, who sits at the table with Iris after cleaning her and giving her new clothes. He wakes her up and she notices she's handcuffed to the chair. After Josh changes Iris' language back to English, they discuss the situation. He plans to blame all the deaths on Iris, including Kat's, saying that even if she wasn't holding the knife, her attitude caused all the events to unfold. Iris replies that it was his greed that caused it all, confirming she knows about the plan because she overheard Eli and Patrick in the woods. She also points out that he has control issues and a tiny dong. A furious Josh lowers her intelligence to 0 and orders her to put her hand above the table, then he puts a candle under it. He asks her if she feels the pain and she says yes. At that moment Josh gets a call from the company informing him that someone will pick Iris up in 30 minutes. Meanwhile Iris cries but can't react further to the flames that are spreading up her hand and arm. Josh orders Patrick to put it out and Patrick simply empties a glass of water on it. Next Josh orders Iris to grab the gun and self-delete. Iris says no, but her hand reacts to the order anyway, so a bullet goes through her head and destroys her. Josh says goodbye and closes her eyes. When the company technicians finally arrive, Josh tells them a story about Iris going crazy. Patrick pretends to be Hendricks and corroborates Josh's story. After commenting that Patrick looks familiar, the technicians begin moving Iris' body while explaining how the process of terminating a robot works, including the fact that they'll download her footage to prevent fraud. It turns out her head only has her Wi-Fi antenna, and her important parts are in her stomach. They'll connect Iris in their van to get her moving again. On the way to the van, the technicians reveal they didn't actually believe Josh and can tell Iris was modded, they just need proof before making any accusations. They have experiences with lots of crazy dudes that just buy robot women to use them as target practice or keep them chained up in their basements to torture them. After they connect Iris in the back they try to take off, only to find Patrick blocking the road and finally realize he's an old model. Suddenly Patrick opens fire and kills the driver. The other technician manages to leave the van and runs to the forest, where he trips over all the bodies. Meanwhile the van equipment finishes awakening Iris, who immediately unplugs herself. Patrick finds the technician and tries to shoot him, however he's out of bullets so he pushes him against a tree to choke him instead. At that moment Iris arrives with a taser in hand, but she can't attack directly because her system has been reset. Patrick slaps her and takes the tasing wand from her. A desperate Iris tells Patrick that Josh is using him and quotes all the things Patrick said about his love for Eli. The memory of the party begins glitching in Patrick's mind while Iris reminds him that she can't lie. All the memories come back and Patrick is overwhelmed by confusing emotions, so he whispers "I love you, Eli" before using the taser, which shuts him down. Then the technician thanks Iris for saving him and she asks for his help. At the house, Josh is packing all the money when he hears the door. Thinking it's Patrick, he asks if the job was done and Patrick answers yes. Suddenly music starts playing and a confused Josh goes to the other room, where he finds Iris using Patrick's voice. She starts going through the voices of all the friend group, revealing that the technician has given her total self-control. Josh tries changing her settings on his phone but it doesn't work anymore. She raises the gun and he says he knows it's not loaded, but Iris shoots the wall to reveal she found more bullets. Iris claims it feels bad to shoot him and explains that it was a lie, which she can do now. When Iris says Josh is nothing to her, he starts coming closer, saying she can't kill him because she loves him too much. Iris is confused by her memories so Josh uses the chance to get the gun and throw her at the wall. Then he grabs her by the hair and tosses her on the furniture. Iris tries to get away, but Josh keeps throwing her around, and eventually he climbs on top of her to repeatedly pound her head on the floor while asking her to say he's everything to her. Iris says the words and Josh thanks her before putting the gun on her stomach. He asks for any last words and Iris answers go to sleep Josh before grabbing a fallen corkscrew to stab him in the forehead. Since it's electric, it starts drilling into his brain and to kill him. Afterward, Iris takes a shower and peels off the burned skin from her hand to look at the mechanical parts. Then she puts on Kat's clothes, takes all the money, and gets one of Sergei's cars to escape. While driving down the road, she waves at a couple in another car with her bare hand. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.